Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and we are going to now actually move on with the Magnetic Follow-Up Spotlight series. I am a little embarrassed that I did Perforating Jet a second time, not in a row, but I was going to say in a row, and I would have been completely wrong. So let's quick roll the soundtrack choice. I mean, that doesn't mean anything. Oh, yeah, I wish I could just roll like a D3, you know? Alright, so we're actually going piano, so we are not invoking the player's choice by rolling the same thing 3 times in a row. Alright, well first, let's change the soundtrack choice. Alright, secondly, let's go ahead and pick up the basic that I'm going to be using for this one. And that is going to come in the form of Chaos Energy. Like, this is another one where I feel that even though it only gets 3 activations, it does enough that I think it will actually work very well with a projectile-based buff. So yeah, we will see. As far as our dash, like there's a number of dashes that I use pretty regularly. The reason being is because, frankly, they're just straight up effective. Use Wavefront again. I haven't done this one in a while. Actually, it'd be better if I did Frostbite. Pardon me. And as far as our signature spell is concerned, probably be a good idea to go with something that has a little bit of reach. Why don't you guys go Shock Assault? Now I look at that and yeah, it's not bad, but the problem is it doesn't gel well with what else I have. Maybe, yeah, we'll go with the Balestra. A little water heavy, but that's not a bad thing. And we're kind of somewhere in between, so we'll go with an in-betweeny robe. Power or critical? Goes both ways. And I think with that in mind, I want to... Actually, I'll stick with the Analytical Monocle, and we'll just kind of see what comes up. As per usual, we're going to be using the retro floor plan, and whereas it does make the floors a little boring, it makes each encounter somewhat tense. Now, if I have to wait too long for it to show up, I'll just change my mind and go with something else. But as of right now, it seems like a feasible choice. There it is. Alright, didn't have to wait too long for it this time. Let's just take a risk and go for it. Atlas at spot number 2. I hope I don't regret this decision. Right, so the strengths of Chaos Crusher is that it counts as both projectile and melee, so it works well with multiple synergies. And as you can see, it's because each Chaos Wave does 2 hits essentially, you are capable of getting some pretty good damage. And yeah, it seems like Magnetic Follow-Up is doing a good job of adding on its damage to Chaos Crushers. Owie. Actually, the rocks follow along with the Chaos Crusher very well. Like, actually, I'm kind of impressed. It seems like these two were... I mean, obviously they weren't necessarily designed to go together, but... they work together very well. And why did I just go to a spot I'd already been? But let's be fair, I also have a bit of a soft spot for Chaos Crusher, just because of how versatile it is. Okay, every room is just more and more Ice Lancers. Can we get these guys the hell out of here? Jesus. Get my ass beat. Of course, it doesn't help that every single room is just more golems and more Ice Lancers. Like, that's all it is. Kind of starting to think maybe I shouldn't have gone. Hey, here we go, more Ice Lancers, because that's all this floor is. And even though the combo is working just fine, the enemy layouts are just tearing me apart. Like, I'm very much thinking that if things continue the way they are, I'm probably not even going to make it forward. Didn't take that. Grab a healing potion on floor 1? How embarrassing is that? I don't know about Stormcraft. I'm not going Blazing Onslaught, that just seems like a mistake. Alright, well, we are not getting a whole lot out of this floor. Yeah, this floor ended up being a huge disappointment, both for my own sake and for the sake of items found on it. That was just a bad floor. I'm hoping things improve from here on out, but we know my luck. And how come the only Arcana that are dropping are Dash Arcana? I don't want to replace my Dash. I'm just getting the feeling that this is just going to be a difficult run. It's like starting a run of Binding of Isaac off and choosing Eden, and then getting a super slow fire rate at the very start of your run, because no things are going to get much better from there. Which, admittedly, it's been a while since I've played Binding of Isaac. Not for any real reason, I've just been distracted with other things. And lately, other things have been Rogue Legacy 2, which, by the way, Rogue Legacy 2 just got updated to version 1.1, and some of the changes made were significant, but more importantly, additions were made that are feeling pretty nice. Like, and to further that point, I haven't even seen what all the changes are. Like, it's that substantial. Like, the one thing that was disappointing to me is that Soul Steel and Life Steal runes were decreased in their efficacy. But in order to make up for that, they made the floors smaller and made health and potion drop more frequently. Well, we're definitely going Gale Force alignment. Something that can help control space is very welcome. Especially since every fight is still dealing me way more damage than I would realistically like to be taking. I mean, largely that's because I'm mostly treating Chaos Crusher like a melee attack, and that's probably causing some of my problems. And I can't be buying a health potion every single floor. That's going to severely limit what I'm gonna limit my options, but it's also lowering the efficacy of each potion. I can't keep doing that. I have to change my game plan. You know what? Let's take a risk. Alright, so what are we going up against? Alright, well, I like the idea of Flame Breath. And I'll grab the hammer, too. There we go. Alright, that's looking a little better. I'll continue talking about Rogue Legacy 2 in just a moment, but first I have to, not lose to Freya. Ah, crap. Surfboard! I'll grab it as a backup, but I mean, there are other things I would rather have. I would like to have some more ranged control. Like bouncing bubble or bouncing surge would be nice. Or twin turbines. That would also be nice. Also, is it me, or do the enemies have way too much HP? Or am I just playing poorly? I think I'm just playing poorly. Like dashing right into the poison pool? Yeah, it probably wasn't what I should have done there. Alright, so I was talking about Chaos Crusher's versatility. I should maybe be using that instead of forcing myself to always use it as a melee option. If I were to use it as a ranged option more often, then we'd probably be doing just a little bit better. Or, you know, everything will just kick my ass regardless, and I'll just look like a giant idiot. Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright, well, I may try that one again, I may not. I do think that there is potential there, but I think it is also somewhat limited by how you use Chaos Crusher. Like, something that would just be a straight, stronger projectile, I think would have a little bit more wiggle room and traction. At the same time, I also know that Melee isn't exactly my cup of tea, especially not in retro floor plan runs. So I might actually try this one again without the retro floor plan, and we'll just see how that goes. I don't know. Let me learn how to speak English. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I will be seeing you.